doing the menopause diet, me and Mary Claire Hager, Dr. Mary Claire, and you know, they're feeding me about, I don't know, 600 calories a day, boys. So if I don't make it next week, you know what happens. This is, again, the benefits of oxyacetylene. Pat bought this nice 1942 script GPW last fall and quickly decided he wanted to fix a bunch of stuff. It ended up at the shop sometime over the summer for a quick fix, but of course, like all things, projects expand. What are we doing, Pat?
Well, we're gonna go around, touch up all the spots. There's a couple of holes. There's a couple of issues up on top. Pat's done the axe bracket already, so
Right here?
that's back on. That was a big deal. That was all wanky. We fixed the bracket, and Pat and Matt fixed that spot over there, and welded back the captured nuts on there, the Ford captured nuts.
So you can put there's a little bracket that goes here, so we drilled a hole and welded that in, and then there was some rod in here, so we fixed that. This is, again, the benefits of oxyacetylene, because you can't clean down here, so you can weld rusty metal with oxyacetylene. It's not perfect, but it's better than trying to do it with MIG, which you can't really do. You can do it with this. You just kind of keep it hot, let the oxidation and stuff burn off of it, and then you do it. So it's faster, definitely faster. Little learning curve to learn to do it, but it's faster.
Okay.
That's coming out nice. It's a very, very solid tub.
It's a really nice tub.
It's 80 years old.
80 years old, so it's not perfect, but it is a very nice tub.
A little Botox would be fine.
Just details, just like Murph. Like this right here. You gotta do a little work in here. We'll grind this a little bit. We gotta do a little more work in there, but we'll get it. This is a classic problem area for almost any World War II Jeep tub. There is an A-frame you see right there in the picture, and water gets between the A-frame and the outside skin of the tub and rots everything out. So we patched it roughly a 3 by 6 inch patch, and we did this on this tub a couple weeks ago. We did Murph as well, and we mostly finished the welding and everything, but it needed a little bit more work, and we were just trying to make our seams and everything else disappear. So we'll end up probably letting it a little bit. I got Dennis grabbing a hold of the wire wheel at this point, because remember, when we lead, when we need to tin it up, it needs to be perfectly clean, like soldering a copper pipe, and we get it all 100% clean, and then add the lead and see if we can't do a little magic to make the seams and everything else that we did disappear. So we did do a little shrinking beforehand. We spent about 20 minutes with the hammer and dolly and the shrinking torch, and then we tinned up the area, got it all tinned up so that the lead would stick to it. And again, we're using a non-lead lead. It's still got a little bit of lead in it, but it's mostly not lead. And we will get that all cleaned up, and we put the lead on, you pat it on, and then Dennis is kind of pulling it. You can pat and kind of pull and get it as flat as you can, but it's a pretty soft material, and so not hard to file out. And this is after a little bit of filing and finally using the little orbital sander to get it mostly finished. I've got a file in my hand because we're trying to make that corner nice and crisp, which is probably the easiest way that I found to do it.
3, 2, 1, you're on.
We're going through menopause,
which turns into mental pause.
Pat didn't feed us till almost 1 o'clock. We were all hangry. That's a sign of menopause. No, we're cleaning. Look at what we're doing.
What are we doing?
We're cleaning, and there's like, you know, how much cleaning do you want to do? There is that much cleaning to do. You can clean as much as you want to clean, and find more flaws until you stop finding flaws, because there's just it's an unending amount of things to do. But so Dennis and I just did this. See this? Nice. It needs a little more sanding, but there was a big hole right
I
here.
recall.
So
Not anymore.
we're gonna get a little blade in here and cut this down a little deeper so that line looks good. But we are really close, a little sanding, and maybe a couple coats of primer and sanding between the coats, and we're gonna be in good shape on that one. Jeep sides are often bent in, and it doesn't really matter, but there's a hat channel right in the center of your screen, and with the side bent in a little bit, when you go to put the top bows and the top bow brackets on, things don't fit, so you end up having to bend the top bows in to get them to go into their little brackets. So we were just check fitting this, looked at it, looked a little bit out, and we could of course see the bend in the side. We put the brackets on and then put the top bows back in, and we ended up, they were about an inch out, so leaning in a little bit, mostly on this side. So this is how I fix it. I grab a monkey wrench and I grab a big piece of plate steel so that I'm not bending anything, and we pull on that hat channel. And if you have to use heat, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. In this case, there was a bunch of welding on the hat channel for some repair that they had done when they restored this tub at some point, and that shrunk it and pulled it in. So we heated it up. Of course, you can't see it. Sorry for the bad film work here, but stationary cameras. But we heated it up nice and pulled it out, and now the top bow brackets fit in beautifully. This tub is in much nicer shape than Murph's was, and yet still there are little blemishes everywhere you see, holes to fill on the dash, and on and on and on. So as Matt likes to say, focus on 1 square foot and fix it, and that's what we're trying to do, but it is hard.
The machine gun mounts.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
And we'll go
6.
with this one.
That I think has to be done because I'm not sure what goes there now.
You guys know the drill. Hammer and dolly, welding, grinding, filling holes, on and on. Right here, this was all messed up. This was split apart and bent. And people bend these to try to make the water run off of the, so it doesn't drain down on the engine. So when they did it, all the welds, spot welds came off here. So we drilled new holes and we spot welded this back in. You can't really tell. We fixed a couple things here, and so now it is a tight seam again, which makes us happy. There's plenty of paint to remove. I have the best paint removing tool of all.
Oh yeah.
I do. This is the best paint removing tool of all. In fact, I like it so much that I think I'm going to have my wife in her white outfit.
I don't think so.
Oh, what are those?
This right here. You see this thing? It is called the Rapid Strip. So I'm going to get the TIG welder right now, and I think I'm going to work on that little hole right there too. See how that's little? I'm going to fill this in a little bit with the TIG welder. See, it was that Ford script that started all this insanity because somebody drilled holes so that they could put a jerry can bracket back there. We'll probably do a little bit more work to make that back panel pop a little bit more, but it looks a lot better now. We got the rest of the holes and everything fixed, and Pat wanted to get some primer on the bottom of it, and so we went ahead and primed it. Pat is using a different OD than I used. He uses a product from Rapco, and you'll notice some differences in the color. We'll show much more closely when we get this back together again. You'll see Murph and this Jeep parked side by side, so you can really compare and contrast the differences. That's wet right there, so it's shiny, but it's interesting. You know, lots of choices here.
With that, thanks again for tuning in. You can keep your corner square, Patrick Tipton. I'll see you again next week.